retreat. Failures never taste the sweet. Science lessons learned in flight. Journey on through endless night. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet did kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Orbit dreams won't be delayed. Lessons learned from missions made. Kerbal Time will forge a path to the stars beyond this path. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet did kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Keep flying through the light.
Good morning. Well, here you are. How you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Starlink 11-6 launch coverage. I am EJ, your host, and I'm totally not stretching and yawning because it's early. I'm totally not doing that. No. But I got coffee, so now that I have my coffee, I'm ready to watch rockets. Where are the Tim Tams? They're in the fridge. They're in the fridge, but the fridge is all the way in the shop, and it's cold in there. I don't feel like going in there. Detective, he's no going in there. You tell me two things. I ain't running. It's nearly 2 p.m. in London. Was here when the stream finished. Hi, mate. Oh, you got a permit for that viewing? You got a permit for viewing this stream, mate? The fridge is outside down south. Yeah, right. I used to have faith in you. Fine. Whatever. Faith no more. I mean, faith restored. You got a permit for the permit. All right, right, all right. And we were found to be 100% in compliance, mate. All right. No sane man streams this early. You're right, Repairy. %. All right, righto. About that time, eh, chaps? Righto. Time for a rocket launch. You're not tired? Let's go. Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good. Okay. Let's see. Launch coverage is not up yet, but what we are looking at here is Starlink Group 11-6. The booster flying today is booster 1063. It's 23rd flight on a 38-day turnaround. Not bad. Not bad. Payload today is 23 Starlink V2 minis. You know, I don't know why I look at next space flight like, oh my gosh, it might be different this time. Nope. 23 Starlink V2 minis. Just, that's it. This is SpaceX 11th mission of 2025. Falcon 9's 11th mission of 2025. The 18th orbital launch attempt this year. It's SpaceX's 445th mission and their 429th Falcon 9 mission. 429 is a good number. It's a good number. Yeah, sometimes it's 21, sometimes it's 23, sometimes it's 27. Yeah, it does change, Helsinki, right? So it feels like there's a rocket engine being tested in my backyard now. Hurricane force winds already taken down a fence. Nice. Hey, James, what's going on? Eric, what's going on, buddy? Vargon, you were watching Daytona qualifying yesterday. Scary's helmet meant to look like the old helmets that shuttle crews wore pre-Challenger. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like, Vargon. Guess who designed that? That was my idea. I'm taking credit for that one. That was my idea. Scary's a good buddy of mine, dude. Yep. Oh yeah. No, he's a space nut. Dude, he's a space nutcase like the rest of us, dude. When I was down in Boca, he was showing me pictures of Daytona, and I was showing him pictures of Starship. We were just going back and forth. He's like, dude, 35-degree banking. I'm like, dude, stainless steel water tower. He was like, dude. And I'm like, dude. And he's like, dude. That is not far off from the actual conversation. Yeah. Oh, geez, Tessa. Oh, you brought down your fence, mate. What you're saying is a hurricane can change the laws of physics, huh? Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, no, most rocket nerds are car nerds. Like, I don't know what that's about. Like, some of the new crop, like, if you like newer space, not so much, but some of the old timers, like me.
Go and throttle up.
Yeah, everybody likes cars. Jim Cantrell, one of the founding members of SpaceX, is a huge car nerd. So is Tom Mueller, the guy that designed the Merlin engine. Just huge car nuts. I feel called out. There's a crossover, man. You know what the crossover is? We like stuff that goes fast, okay? Race cars go fast. Rockets go faster. Planes go fast. I'm telling you, it's not anything more than that. I like stuff that goes fast. I want to go fast. I want to feel like I was on a spaceship. Feel like I don't know what to do with my hands. That's it, man. We just like stuff that goes fast. Dude, where's my rocket? Dude. F1 cars go fast too. I know, and I like Formula 1 too, and Flavia, this is the most conflicted I've ever been about rooting for Ferrari ever. Because I haven't liked Lewis Hamilton this entire time, but I've always said I didn't like Lewis Hamilton because he's not driving for Ferrari, okay? And now that he's driving for Ferrari, I don't know what to do. But also, those pictures of him in the Versace suit right? With the F40 and Maranello in the background. Those pictures go pretty hard, dude. It's pretty good. Do you like Max? No. The only Max I like is that one in chat. You can like the man now? Yeah, okay. All right, that's fair. If anybody can save Ferrari from Ferrari, it's probably Lewis. Yeah, you got some Don Hamilton stuff going on there. Have you guys seen those freaking pictures? It's like, bruh. They go insanely hard, as the kids would say. Oh, man, it's still weird to see. It's still weird to see him in red, dude. That is very strange. That's very strange, man. Dude, that is screwing with me so hard, man. It's so cool. Oh, my goodness. I'm scrolling through the Formula One Twitter, and it's just, yeah, dude, look. Dude, look at this bottom picture. That picture goes insanely freaking hard. Oh, hell yeah. All right. Okay, I get it. That suit is freaking sick, dude. I like the suit. I like the car. I like the place. I like, you got the guy. All right, fine. That's fair. I don't know what you're talking about, Sawyer. That doesn't exist. It goes hard. Dude, it's hard as frick, man. Yeah, it's hard as frick. Like, I'm like, all right, okay, all right. Let's see what we got. We'll see what we got here. We'll see what we got. All right, fair. That's fair. That's his F40. It was his 40th birthday present for him. It's chassis 4400 of 200. 440, right? Because, yeah, they made 200 F40s, and then
Discovery, go at throttle up.
people liked them so much they made 200. They made, like, what is it, 500 total or something? A little early for Ramen King. Most liked F1 related picture ever. It's so good. Damn, dude. You're still rooting for Carlos? Okay. Anyway, the SpaceX coverage should be popping up here soon. We're just waiting here for a second. Can't wait for preseason testing. It's going to be good. I'm also rooting for Carlos. I hope Williams does great things. How's the 59? It developed a coolant leak while I was gone. You guys can't really tell, but there is coolant all over the floor. I've cleaned it, but there's a coolant leak. And I'm hoping and praying the block isn't split. There is antifreeze in there, so it should be fine, but I really, for the life of me, can't figure out where the freaking coolant leak is coming from. And wherever it is, it's also leaking on top of the water pump. I'm just hoping it's the radiator hose. Where's it leaking from? From the coolant hole. Did they get all the snow off the track in Daytona? I think it's fine, dude. I think it's fine. You think they'll move Vandenberg Transporter Erector over to Slick 6 or just build a new one? Most likely build a new one. Even though it could be used for Falcon Heavy. Throw pepper in the radiator. I got to figure out where it's leaking from first, Rich. But, yeah. That's a job for another day. Coolant leak. What is it, a BMW? Guess you got to put dye in to find the leak. We'll figure it out. Did you ever do your state of the stream? No, going to Boca kind of screwed that up. Like badly. We'll get to that. Why isn't NSF streaming Vandy launches? I don't know. Nope, it's a fixer repaired daily. Hey, shut up. I don't know. Let me see. It's time to wake up.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Wolf, 21-month resub. Thank you. They do not have folks out in California, so NSF normally does not do Vandenberg. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the reason. Yeah, for NSF coverage, you need somebody on location. Wake up, you muppet. You muppet. All right, it's time to wake up, mate. Yeah. Have another go at me, you chatty boy. Clunks. Sorry, that's from... You guys remember that from Rambo? Have another go at me, come on! It's pretty awesome. That guy was the man. You put some air pressure in the system and find the leak easier that way. Yeah, Shy. I think it's just crappy radiator hoses. I'm like hoping and praying that's actually what it is, but I gotta flush the radiator to like... Yeah, I gotta flush the radiator. I think I need a new upper and lower rad hose. Those ones are too big. So I think after, you know, being heated up and cooled and heated up and then really freaking cooled, that they contracted in a way that leaks coolant everywhere. Forget about the stream. What about a fog machine? Well, Jack just enjoys the horchata being so close to Mexico. He likes it down there, dude, from what I could tell. He's having a good time. Could you 3D print an air hose radiator cap to purchase system? I don't know how that'll do with the heat, Coltec, but yeah. What temp is the garage getting down to at night? It stays like 5 to 10 degrees above ambient because it's insulated, but I do crack the door. Which is why it gets so damn cold in here in the morning. Oh, here we go. Just so it stays not like super freaking cold. I try to keep it above freezing in the garage.
Thanks for pressing for Starlink retract.
They could be dry rotted, Brendan. They probably are, dude.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
I put those hoses on there in 2012 or something, dude. They're old. Okay, here we go. So this is the Starlink 11-6 mission. The booster that's flying today. Let me double check it. It's 1080.
Retracted starting.
1063, 23rd flight. It's also very strange because it's not foggy and it's still nighttime in Vandenberg. That's not a bad idea, Tessa. I always love joining you for a launch stream. Learned so much from this. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, Matt. So they're hosed. Yes. What's the fleet leader at? 25. Contra. Hey, get the start thing off the screen, man. Okay, Strongback is retracting here. Today is Friday in California. Shoot! That's right.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Chris, what's going on? Going to Daytona. If you see Scary, tell him hi. Tell him we said hi from the internet. No host for the SpaceX stream today. They don't usually host Starlink launches, but that gives me plenty of time to commentate.
Stage 1 lock load complete.
Stage 1 LOX load is complete. Serious Banana Bot is here. Oh, strange. I want to point out that Vandenberg launched something like 4 days ago or something. The first launch that we covered this week was from Vandenberg, if I'm recalling correctly. What is the melting point of PLA? I don't know. It doesn't take much heat to melt that stuff. I can't be mean to you, Sirius, because it's your 27th birthday. No. Bullying people on their birthday builds character. Happy birthday, buddy. 2 minutes. Once again, the payloads aboard is 23 Starlink V2 minis going into a polar orbit here. T-minus 90 seconds, ground gas closeout. That is when the propellants from the transporter erector, which is the gray structure on the right side of your screen, have all been evacuated. There's a fuel and oxidizer line that goes up this thing to fuel up the second stage. Goes up there. Fuel it up right there. Though right there is the fuel and oxidizer line for Falcon for the second stage. They want to get all the propellants out of here. Go for startup. They want to get all the propellants out of there because you don't want this thing lighting on fire. You need the fire coming out of the rocket, not the launch pad. It's possible, Katra, sure.
Launch director, go for launch.
LD reports go. Chat reports go. 23 flights is no joke, man, on this booster, yeah.
T-minus 30 seconds.
Yeah. If you don't purge the lines, the tower turns into an omnidirectional rocket. That's correct, yes. 20 seconds.
T-minus 15 seconds.
10.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Sound suppression water system is activated.
3, 2, 1.
Engine ignition.
Liftoff of the Falcon 9.
And we got liftoff. Starlink 11-6 on an early morning Vandenberg flight. Catching the red eye into space. That's good. That was nicely done.
MOD propulsion nominal.
Okay, got a good call for propulsion. Falcon 9 should begin the pitch over in the roll program here to align with the proper flight azimuth for polar orbit insertion. Why is it so dark there? It's in California. It's 6 in the morning over there.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Is this a silent booster? Yeah. It's got the see, I said it has the sound suppressor on it. No, I just have the volume down. Good call for power and telemetry. T plus 1 minute into the flight. We should get a call for maximum dynamic pressure. Call for supersonic. Nice, Platinum. There you go.
Max Q.
Maximum dynamic pressure. Peak aerodynamic load induced on the vehicle during ascent. Basically, Falcon 9 can't move the air out of the way anymore, so they throttle down the engines to prevent compression load on the front of the booster. That compression of air on the front can accordion the rocket. If you kept going faster, it'll blow up. That's why they throttle the engines down. It's the highest compression load induced on the vehicle during launch. Max Q is generally a very big milestone to get by for a vehicle.
MVAC in flight chill.
MVAC is in flight chill. Okay, so that's second stage thermal conditioning on the engine. They're priming the second stage on Falcon 9, which is behind this camera. It's over there somewhere. They're priming it, getting it ready to fire. and making sure that it's at the correct operating temperature, particularly the turbine machinery. The turbine machinery on the second stage is using cryogenic propellants as well. It's using liquid oxygen. So you got to get it nice and cold to work correctly. If you try to fire cold liquid oxygen into a hot turbo pump, it's going to blow up. I don't know if you guys have noticed, most like things, if you don't do them right with rockets, usually results in an explosion.
We go.
Main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
There we go. Should get a nice upper stage ignition here.
And back ignition.
There you go. Got a nice glow on the second stage motor there, indicating nominal operation. You can see some plume interaction from the second stage. Stand by for fairing separation.
Fairing separation confirmed.
Yeet! Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Oh, dude, you can see the Terminator. That's sick. The fairing is an aerodynamic shell that actually protects the payloads during ascent. Once Falcon 9 has reached a certain altitude, where it's at about 104 kilometers right now, which is it's like 350,000 feet. There's not enough air to perturb the satellites anymore. You can dump the fairing. Those fairings are going to get reused. They will actually flip over because it's like two shells, right? It's called a clamshell fairing because it opens like a clamshell, right? And then they separate, and then SpaceX has thrusters on them that'll turn both the fairings over, so the aerodynamic side is facing towards reentry, and they'll actually re-enter themselves, and then they'll parachute down, and they'll be fished out by a SpaceX recovery ship. You can see that the first stage over there is going across the Terminator. Oh, Platinum, this must be a show, dude. If you're in Southern California and you're up right now, you should be able to see this. Go outside and look west. You'll see it. Oh, absolutely. So the first stage right there is pulsing nitrogen thrusters, that little nubbin in the center of the first stage right there. It's pulsing out nitrogen. And what that's doing is keeping the first stage on a proper attitude. It's making sure its attitude is good. No, it's keeping it on at a right attitude, basically the way it's pointing, so it can point engines first when it starts coming back down. Also, they hit enter too early, Tessa. So if you see like there was some weird stuff going on over there and you see like some snowflakes coming out here, it's actually not snow. It's solid nitrogen, because when you take highly compressed nitrogen, right, and you shoot it out into the vacuum, there's a momentary like time of intense decompression, because you're going from extremely high pressure to nothing very, very fast. And in that split second of decompression, the gas actually freezes. That's why you see like snowflakes, and that's why you can see solid oxygen on the second stage right there. That's from the vent lines. Should be coming up here on my favorite part. Yeah, see, there's some solid nitrogen going away over there. See it? You can see a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sunrise over there from California. Next step here for the first stage is to fire its engines to slow it down. Slow itself down. This is called the entry burn, or supersonic retropropulsion. That's my favorite part. This is the part where Falcon 9 fires its engines. It fires its engines when it's entering the atmosphere. Now, it's firing the engines not only to slow down, but it's firing the engines to protect Falcon 9 from in a cool column of gas from
entry burn startup.
From reentry heating here. Grid fins are locked. We are locked in. There you go. If you notice, okay, that's one engine. Okay, they got 3 engine ignition. So they fired 3 of the 9 engines here during this landing. If you notice that, it's kind of a weird way to look at it, but the gases, the way the gases are coming out of the engine because it's flying business first, make it look like a heat shield. That's because it is.
Entry burn shut down.
With supersonic retropropulsion, you actually use the exhaust gases of the engines as your heat shield. That is your heat shield. And it works exactly like an ablator heat shield. Basically, an ablator heat shield is a heat shield that burns and releases gas and envelops whatever it's attached to in a cooler column of gas. Now, I know what people are going to say. Rocket exhaust is kind of hot. What do you mean? It's kind of hot. Yeah, it's kind of hot, but reentry heating is even hotter. Oh, some solid nitrogen came off there. Reentry heating is even hotter. All it's doing is giving it a thermal medium. It's just enough to make Falcon 9 work. Falcon 9 now coming back into the lower parts of the atmosphere. The grid fins are going to start to do work. You can see relative to the horizon that she's shaking around. It's kind of windy out there today. How big are the grid fins? About the size of a coffee table, Cosmic Hippo. Stage 1 is now in the transonic flight regime, indicating it's below 1.2 Mach.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 2 flight termination system safe. You should see the drone ship under the left grid fin right there. The drone ship that this 1063 is going to land on today is, of course, I Still Love You. Okay, stage 1 is in. It started its landing burn here. Now, while it's slowing down, the grid fins are going to help steer this thing back to the drone ship. And then when you get below a certain speed, these aerodynamic control surfaces don't work anymore. So the Falcon 9 will be flying entirely on... Oh, baby, that's a little bit far. Entirely on thrust vector control and attitude control. And it looks like the wind took Falcon 9 a little bit. It's definitely to one side of that drone ship. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That got a little sketchy real quick. Whoa. But 1063 did come down and land. It is intact on the drone ship. Oh, man. That got a little sketch, dude. All right. Should be coming up on second stage engine cutoff here. Staging velocity should be somewhere around 27,300.
And back shutdown.
We have second stage engine cutoff, 27,330 at 137. Stand by for a call for nominal orbit insertion. Hello? It may have been low. I may have talked over it. Dude, that first stage burn, it is windy out there. Look at the stage get blown around in the wind. Man. Yo, that got sketch real quick. 27,330 at 137 is fine, guys. That's fine. That's a good insertion. I may have talked over it, guys. I thought I heard it, but I don't know. Dude, look at this thing move around. Oh my goodness. The wind started really blowing this thing around. Look. No! It corrected at the last second. I thought it was coming down over here. Oh man, that was close. That was close. Oh man. You missed the NSF drone ship bingo landing day. It's nice. Wow. Look at the plume as it's landing. Why is it so dark? Let me see. Looks fine to me. Got some residual right there. It looks like some of the heat auto-combusted some of the E9 engine's turbine exhaust. If you can see, there's fire coming from behind the engines. Right up here is where the dump is for the gas generator, the gas generator turbine, and it looks like some of it, we had some residual catch on fire there. That's normal. That happens. With this launch, this is coming from my buddy Alex. With this launch, SpaceX has broken its pad turnaround time at Space Launch Complex 4. Previously, it was 3 days, 15 hours, 23 minutes, and 40 seconds. This has now gone down to 2 days, 22 hours, 21 minutes, and 10 seconds. Yeah, that pad was flying something like a couple of days ago. That's pretty cool, man. That is pretty neat. Anyway, that's going to do it. That's going to do her for Starlink 11-6 coverage. It's 9:18. Yo, YG, what's up, man? I just watched the ascent from my backyard. It was just before dawn, so I was able to see everything across the entire sky, even both fairings. It never gets old. That's super cool, dude. That's super cool. Hey, YG, I never asked how you doing, man? How are you and your mom doing? Everything good? Everything good out there? I haven't been out through there in a long time. Just let me know. This is like shipyards competing to see who could build a Liberty ship faster. Everything is good. Thanks for asking. All good, man. All good. Yeah, it is, Gauze. Isn't that crazy? Does Starship do supersonic retro propulsion? No, it does not, believe it or not. It doesn't. Because Starship, there's a number of reasons. Starship does not do Super Heavy in particular, doesn't do supersonic retro propulsion. One of the big reasons is it's stainless steel. It can tank the heat. Stainless steel is way better at managing heat than the aluminum skin from Falcon 9. So here, check this out. I'll load up the Super Heavy footage. I'm sorry, this is gonna really confuse people because the stream is titled as an 11-6 coverage. But
looking forward to a booster.
Watch this. So it doesn't need to do an entry burn here, because Super Heavy is made out of stainless. It can, like I said, it'll just absorb all the heat. You can see the end result of this in a second here in the next shot. When they show the shot of this thing coming down from the ground, the bottom of the booster looks like a pepperoni pizza because it's glowing so much. Check this out. That's a super good question, Volko. Watch. Also, I just really wanted an excuse to watch this again. Yeah, there's other thing. Oh, my gosh, that's so freaking cool. Like I said, pepperoni pizza. There are other things at stake here, other than the stainless steel. Super Heavy, believe it or not, does not fly as high and as far as Falcon 9. There's a reason for this. The biggest reason, and this is a very kind of counterintuitive thing to think about. The big reason is that with first stages, a higher specific impulse or miles per gallon for your rocket engine is usually preferred, and that does help with your first stage. But first stage efficiency really is about how much thrust to weight you have, how much power you can expend, how quickly. If you have a higher thrust to weight ratio for your first stage, you actually end up being more efficient. So what do I mean by efficient? Like you're going to end up using less fuel, right? So it's not necessarily about specific impulse, like how efficient your rocket engines are. It's how much boom they can put out, how quickly, right? First stages tend to be way higher thrust to weight ratio than a second stage, right? The higher the TWR you have, the more efficient you're going to be, if that makes any sense. It's kind of counterintuitive, because you think like, oh, specific impulse, which is the miles per gallon. It's the specific efficiency of a rocket engine measured in burn time seconds, right? That is, that's what you generally think like, oh, higher specific impulse, the better. No. With first stages, generally having higher thrust to weight ratio ends up being more efficient. You end up using less fuel. I know it's weird. It sounds ridiculous, right? But that's true. Falcon 9 Block 5 first stages are actually less efficient than their predecessors. They actually make more power. More power. Captain, we're having trouble keeping up. More power. More power. Anyway, sorry. So with Super Heavy expends a crazy amount of energy. I don't know if you noticed. It's got a lot of engines on it. There's a lot going on, like right in this area here. Not here or here so much, but like right there. There's a lot going on there. So Super Heavy, it actually has higher thrust to weight ratio and it has a higher staging velocity than Falcon 9 does, but it has a lower altitude. It does not fly as high. And because of that, right? Because of that, you don't need to do supersonic retro propulsion because it doesn't fall. It's not falling as far. And the fall that it does do is just straight tanked by the stainless steel, which is crazy. That's still crazy to me that this thing just absorbs the heat. It's not a big deal. Whatever. I mean, but then again, like That's what Elon was saying when they switched to stainless steel. It's delightfully counterintuitive. Dude, nobody would ever think about making one of these out of steel or any type of steel like 10 years ago. That's completely bananas. But yet, here we are. Look at it. It just absorbs the heat, which is still bananas to me. You can see plasma accumulating on the freaking booster. Like what the hell?
Go and throttle up.
That's not supposed to do that. But it is, right? It's super cool. First aid should be like a motorcycle at the red light, not a car, although New Glenn would not like this analogy. Yeah. Hey, Hypersonic, tier 2 76-month resub. That's hot, man. That's hot. Hot! You think we'll get Flight 7 reflown? No, Rath, I said on the NSF cast that I don't think they're going to. I think they'll wait till Raptor 3 and Block 2, but I could be wrong. In fact, I do think I'm wrong. I think they will reuse this. Booster 14 seems to have fared a lot better than Booster 12. SpaceX definitely had some mitigations here with this. Oh my goodness. Dude, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen as a spaceflight fan. That is the coolest thing ever. I'm telling you, man, this screwed with my perspective a lot. It screwed with my perspective about space a lot. Like, I what the frick? I'm still like, what is going on here? What is this? I mean, like, I don't know if you guys like have seen it. I've been saying it like a freaking broken record. I was here. I saw that thing do that, and I'm still like, wait, it does what? How does that happen? That's pretty neat. Like, I'm still like, wait, what did it just do? What did it do? Wow, that's pretty cool. If you scroll frame by frame, you can see the firing order. Let me see. All right, mate. Let me see this, mate. Let's see. Let's slow it down.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Nay, Nova gifted 3 months of tier 1 to Mayor of Space. Cool. They're going to build a rocket catcher on the moon? I don't know. Look, you can see they're starting. See right there? See all this white? That's the turbo pumps, or the pre-burners on the. They would be pre-burners on Raptor. That's the pre-burners spooling up. That's the engine starting to spool, like you'd spool a turbo on a car. Same thing, or same idea. Pre-burner, turbocharger. They do a little. One moves liquid, the other moves gas, but it's the same thing. You got to spool it. Ready? So they fired the 3 engines in the center first. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dude, it's star pattern. You see that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bing, 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 bing. Dude, you know how hard that is to do? Like, that is so difficult. Air starting 13 engines? Just, all right. Yeah, see? Star pattern. And then ding, 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 ding. It's a star pattern. Oh my goodness! It's like torquing bolts down. If you're putting a tire on a car, it just goes around the horn for the same exact reason. That's super cool. Oh, I'm gushing at this thing. How do they manage the thermal expansion on it? On what? The super heavy? Um, that you know what, Pipe Road, that's a really good question. Well, let's think about it for a second. I mean, dude, I mean, obviously you're not going to have an expansion joint in this thing like a bridge or something. You're not doing that. If you have an expansion joint, it's going to cause a leak in the fuel tank, right? So there, if I had to guess, dude, there's a thick piece of stainless steel down here. We know that there's a barrier between that and the lower bulkhead of the liquid oxygen tank. That's why this thing is all beefed up. See all the stringers in there? So there's definitely like a spot between them. If I had to guess, they're probably using a gas insulator in between. And the gas is probably taking some of the heat and pressurizing the engine section. If I had to guess, that's a quick way to do it. Because you got to remember, it's only for a second. This thing only gets super hot for a second, right? Like, I mean, it was already super hot from ascent. These things aren't actually, like, it's not like these are the coolest things in the world, right? Put the force distribution equally. If you would start only the left side and then the right, you can imagine the forces would be damaging. That's right, Amsterdam. Yeah, you want to make sure that you put even load on your thrust structure. Yeah, because if you don't, you'll pinch one side and not the other. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That's why it's a star pattern. That's it. I think that's super cool. But yeah, Piper, I think that's what's going on. It's a star pattern on Miko on the way up. That's right, the way they shut the engines down. Is it me or do some of the outer rings look deformed? Some of those engines do get a little bit deformed on the way down. That's a problem that SpaceX is still solving or in the process of solving, Hellro. But Booster 14 did seem to fare a lot better than Booster 12. 12's engines got really messed up. I think that's so cool. It's like putting tires on a car. So if there aren't car people around, when you put tires on a car, you have nuts and bolts that you attach the tire with. They're called lugs and lug nuts, right? If you have like if you have a 5-star pattern, right? You would do this bolt and then that bolt and then this one and then this one and then this one. The way you tighten them down would be in a star pattern. It would be like making a star, a 5-sided star. The reason why you do that is because you don't want the tire to be attached crooked to its hub, right? You want to make sure that it's even and perfectly sandwiched up against it, because if it's not even, when it goes down the road, the tire will weeble wobble. Yes, that's a technical term. You will get sinusoidal vibrations if you really want the technical term, right? It'll basically, the tire will do this going down the road. You don't want that. The tire should not be doing that, right? The engines, it's the same idea. It's the same idea with the motors, not because of weeble wobbling, but because you don't want to pinch. Like if this is the thrust structure and these are the engines, if you fired all the engines on one side, you're going to pinch and unevenly load your thrust structure on one side. You don't want to do that, because you could crush this one side and then the whole thing blows up. Yeah, with a car, you just get some weeble wobbles going down the road. If you do it with the rocket, it blows up. Like I said, most of the time when you don't do this stuff right with rocket science, it usually ends in an explosion, and not the kind of explosion that you want. I've always said, if it's blowing up in more than one direction, you got a big problem. You know, Tim Dodd always says, what? Flamey end down, right? I say you want the explosion to go in one direction. Usually that's down. Okay? If it's going out the sides or out the top, yeah, you might want to talk to your doctor about that. Yeah, exactly, Moist. We did see that. It's pretty cool, man. That's super cool stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's yeah, good rocket talk. Guys, I think I'm going to play Workers at the beginning of the stream, and then I think so say Seats, I saw you ask am I on Flame Trench today? I'm not doing Flame Trench today. Flame Trench is going to be with the Cape Canaveral crew that covered the New Glenn launch. We had the Boca crew last week, and we want the NSF wants the Cape crew. So I'm not doing that. So we have the whole day until racing tonight to play games. So I'm thinking some workers, some Kerbal. We'll keep trying to do that in KSP. I am building in Kerbal, in stock KSP, I'm building a catch tower to catch boosters. Am I good at it? No. Is there explosions happening in more than one direction? Absolutely. Excitement guaranteed. Do you think they will scrap 12? I hope not. It belongs next to Hoppy. I think nothing is sacred, Flavia. I still can't believe they scrapped SN15. I can't believe that. They scrapped the first piece of Starship hardware that they ever got back, Starhopper notwithstanding. Hang on one second, dudes. I gotta put a towel under the door. It's getting very cold. There we go. It would be a shame. Dude, yeah, dude, nothing is sacred down there. It's because space is at a premium in Boca. They really can't build out much. They don't have a lot of space. Did they touch Hoppy? That is the complete opposite of what I said. I don't know how you could possibly have interpreted that from what the words that just came out of my mouth, but that's okay. No, they haven't touched Hoppy. Hoppy is in the danger lot. I just saw it the other day. It's fine. And, you know, it speaks to something that I talked about a little while ago. I don't mind if you take old hardware, like any space program takes old hardware, outdated hardware, and you put it in a museum or something. Like, everybody was all bummed out that we lost booster 1058. So what? So what? Yeah, it's a great booster. So what? Who cares? Make another one. You have plenty. It does suck that the booster blew up, but all right, what are you going to do? Just scrap it. Whatever. Get rid of it. Like, you got to understand that that's how SpaceX works. They'll only get rid of hardware if it's old. You know? And usually they expend it. That's why the shuttles being in museums really bother me, because those aren't old. There's still nothing like that out there. I mean, frankly, I don't think there's ever going to be something like the shuttle ever again, but that's another story. Don't go to a SpaceX retirement home. That's right. Ship 26 should have gone to a museum. No. No. So, like, the point that I'm trying to make is that, you know, SN15 was all fine and dandy, and I think if you were going to make a case for it being in a museum, that's fine. But, you know, the crazy thing to me is, like, why did SN15 get scrapped and SN20, a ship that's never flown and was basically abandoned, right? Why? What are they doing with that? Like, how is ship 20 just sitting there and SN15 got scrapped? Like, clearly there's no, like, rhyme or reason to this. Like, nothing is sacred. But, you know, like, as long as it's old hardware, I don't mind old hardware being retired. It's just, I hate seeing, like, oh, we should put 1058 in a museum. It's the life leader, and it's, you know, oh, you know, it's flew on all these historic missions. No, keep flying it until it breaks. Believe me, I've seen the alternative. The alternative is the shuttles. None of the shuttles ever got anywhere near their operational limits. Anywhere. Those chassis, the shuttle orbiter chassis are designed for 100 flights. No orbiter got even close. The one that got the closest was Discovery with 39 missions. Columbia was the second closest, I think. Actually, no. I think Atlantis and Endeavor. Atlantis eventually eclipsed it, but yeah, it's annoying because that technology was never utilized the way it was supposed to. You know, it was supposed to be. Like, I don't mind putting old stuff in museums and whatnot for outreach and stuff, but if it's like current and there's no replacement for it, keep flying it, man. Keep flying the damn thing. Do you think they just don't want the copycats to copy their homework, so they destroy early hardware? It's possible, Graham, yeah. Could Starship come back from the moon when they build landing sites there? Bren, if SpaceX figures out a way to manage cryogenic boil-off, it's possible. With refueling, yes, absolutely. With refueling and boil-off management, sure, absolutely. Yeah, that's totally a thing. That's right, David. It's a shame. What's my favorite shuttle? Brendan, my favorite shuttle is Challenger. Challenger is my favorite. Not just because we lost it. I don't feel bad for it because, oh, it's the unloved shuttle because they lost. No. I like Challenger because Challenger is the shuttle, dudes. Okay, this is a little bit of a long response. Not the longest response that you're going to get from me. But if you go back and look, I've read tons of books about the shuttle, about what they were doing, how they were doing it, you know, what they were going to do. Challenger was made based off of everything that was learned from the first 4 orbital flight tests. So STS 1, 2, 3, and 4. What?
Oh, this is space.
Hey,
I'm in
Brandon,
space.
gifted sub to supersonic retro propulsion. Any close to LEO refueling test for Starship? Yeah, that should happen this year. SSRP. Yeah. So Columbia flew the first 4 missions, and then it actually flew, I do believe it flew almost every mission until STS 9. After that, Challenger started flying. That was in 1983. Challenger was built based off of what they learned from those first 4 test flights. The shuttle was iterated on. Between those first 4 flights, it was iterated on. Challenger was way lighter than Columbia. It's way lighter. It had way less tiles. It was way easier to turn around than Columbia was. It would be like a Falcon 9 1.1 versus Falcon 9 Block 5. All right. We started seeing iterative changes and rapid prototyping in the shuttle program to fix tons of things that they learned, because you know what did NASA know about making things reusable? They'd never done that before. The reason why I like Challenger so much is because Challenger is shuttle 1.1. It's the next version. And if the shuttle program had gone on like that, you know, i.e. if January 28th, 1986 didn't happen because of some dingbat, the shuttle would have kept getting iterated upon. It would have kept working, kept getting better and better and better. And Rockwell would have kept making shuttles, because with the flight frequency, remember, the shuttle's rated for 100 flights. With the flight frequency there, they would have had to have made more shuttles. The production line would have had to have stayed open, and they would have needed another set of shuttles by 1989. Because the shuttle was going to shoot for 48 flights a year in 1987, and they would have done it too if it wasn't for the stupid, idiotic freaking management saying that, oh yeah, let's fly it in the cold. No, don't fly it in the cold. It's not designed to fly in the cold. Oh yeah, let's fly it anyway. No, it's also too windy. You shouldn't launch in the cold when it's windy. That's really bad for it. We could kill 7 people. Yeah, fly it anyway. The president's here. We got to do it. Okay. Yep, that singular event screwed the entire shuttle program. But anyway, I digress. Challenger is what all subsequent orbiters are based off of. Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavor are based off of Challenger's design. They're not based off of Columbia. Columbia is different. It might as well be a different vehicle. Straight up. Now, don't get me wrong. Through the later parts of the program, they introduced commonality between all the orbiters, right? Because they figured out that they weren't getting any more. So they started retrofitting all the orbiters with like glass cockpits and stuff to make them all the same, right? But there's still differences. There was differences all the way up until the point when we lost Columbia. The reason why Columbia was flying STS-107 is because it could not do ISS assembly missions. It's too heavy. Fun fact. Not a lot of people know that. If you were around during that time, yeah, sure, you probably know that. But yeah, Columbia could not take stuff to the ISS. Believe it or not, after STS-107, Columbia was going to go through a complete overhaul, and they were going to completely modify it to make it more like Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour so it could support ISS missions. That was the next thing they were going to do after it came back from STS-107, but they never did it. Yeah, Columbia is way too heavy because it was overbuilt. It was way overbuilt. Why is it way overbuilt? Well, because somebody also decided that humans should fly on the first test flight. So they overbuilt everything. It's like Starship right now. SpaceX eventually wants Starship to move 100 tons into LEO. Does the current Starship have that kind of capacity? No. Right now, Starship could probably move about 40 to 50 tons into low Earth orbit, and that's about it. They want to shoot for 100 eventually. Columbia was the same way. Columbia did not have the payload capacity that Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, or Endeavour did. No way. Not even close. About half. It's heavy. It was a heavy bird. But anyway, that's why Challenger is my favorite. I love that. I love that vehicle, and I'm bumming that they lost it for a stupid reason. Yeah, Columbia had extra sensors and data recorders. Exactly. It was their test mule. That's exactly what it is. Columbia does have a sister ship that's very similar in design, though. It's Enterprise. Enterprise and Columbia are like Shuttle 1.0. Challenger, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour are like Shuttle 1.1. Columbia was the best because John Young flew on it twice. And it's hard to argue with that logic, Sigma. It didn't go to Mir, did it? No, it couldn't support a mission like that, Pigzig. It was too heavy. Way too heavy. And one of the shuttles was going to the USAF. Discovery was the one that was supposed to be handed over to the Air Force in late 1980 or mid 1986. Yep. So NASA would have operated Columbia, Atlantis, Columbia and Atlantis. Columbia, Challenger, and Atlantis, and the Air Force was going to get the shuttle Discovery, and the Air Force would have gotten the next shuttle. Like I said, guys, NASA and the Department of Defense paid Rockwell to keep the assembly lines open for the shuttle program into the 90s. You think they just built Endeavour? They just restarted the shuttle's production line in the 90s to build Endeavour after they lost Challenger? Nope. Now, keep in mind, Endeavour was made out of spare parts. Not a lot of people know that either. Endeavour was made out of all the spare parts that they had from the factory producing shuttles. They had all the spare test prototypes, and they made it out of spares. They modified the test prototypes, and they made it into one orbiter. Fun fact. But the production line at Rockwell at Palmdale was open until the 90s when they shuttered it after Endeavour. Now, don't get me wrong. They didn't shutter just because they shuttered the line doesn't mean that it ceased to exist. They used Palmdale as a way to upgrade the orbiters. That was the place where they switched it from producing shuttles to just upgrading them in the 90s. Lunprod, my chat's being a little funky. Just type it again, please. I think V2 currently has 100 tons. That's what the SpaceX website says. Yeah, Nader, it's a real shame. Hang on, guys. I gotta restart chat for a second. I'm gonna restart both chats here. Chrome is being a ram hog again. About to switch, dude. I'm sick of this. Like, I can't scroll up in chat. I go to scroll up in chat and I scroll up, it does nothing, and then like 3 or 4 seconds later it scrolls like way up in the chat. It's really freaking annoying. Give me 1 second. I will be back momentarily. Okay, I can scroll now. Was the problem with the shuttle the lack of missions post-Columbia, since after that it was only ISS missions and Hubble servicing missions? No. All right, I'm back. No, I actually think that the shuttle program hit kind of a mini golden age in like 2007, 2008, because Mike Griffin, the NASA administrator, basically got that program running correctly because Mike Griffin knows how to handle a space program because he's not stupid. Actually, that guy, I've never met Mike Griffin. I don't know him, but his ideas about how a space program needs to be run are pretty much what I base all of my ideas on. I like the ideas that he has. It's a lot of borrowed stuff. I'll be honest with you. All of my theories about space flight are really derived from what he said in like
Discovery,
testimony
go
and
and throttle up.
stuff. Like congressional testimony. That's where a lot of my ideas about how NASA needs to be run come from. The reason why is because, you know, you could say whatever you want. You could say what you will about Mike Griffin, but he ran NASA. He ran NASA, and he got the shuttle program operating on a regular schedule. He got the shuttle operating reliably, operating on a regular schedule, and he got the ISS finished before the program was set to retire. All the while, spearheading the Constellation program. And despite setbacks, right, and underfunding from Congress, was still able to get the Constellation program to a test flight. I get it. Ares 1X is not an Ares 1. I understand, but still, better than nothing. How do you, dude, think about how complicated that actually is. To fix the freaking space shuttle post-Columbia, get it running on an operable schedule, right? And a routine flight schedule, right? And also spearheading the Constellation program. Like, look, I mean, keep in mind, this is off Wikipedia, so take it for what you will, but look at this stuff. See what I mean? Columbia is right there, right? And he took over right here. Getting the shuttle program to operate back on this schedule here, routine 3 to 4 flights a year, no problems at all, is fantastic work. I must say, that's fantastic work. Well, spearheading the Constellation program. That's amazing. That's why I derive a lot of my ideas from him. That's not an easy thing to do. We've seen from SLS how difficult it is to get a space program rolling again. So that's why that guy has my respect, and that's why I base a lot of my theory about how space programs need to be run off of what he has to say. It's that and Homer Hickam too. Homer Hickam's one of my heroes, personal heroes. I'd love to meet him someday. Because of October Sky. I don't know if you guys ever seen that. Here, you want to see why I like Homer? Check this out. He was in a thread the other day on X. Check this out. So remember there was the Day of Remembrance, right? That we watched this video yesterday, right? Look at his response. He says, I was privileged to work directly with Ellison Onizuka and Kapanachala on their previous missions. They and all their crewmates passed away, and the Apollo crew too, because of egregious failures in management, engineering, and safety. See that? That's why I like Homer. Homer's all right. You know, he's only a guy who figured out how to make rockets in his backyard, like Joe Barnard style. Or Joe Barnard is Homer Hickam style. I don't know. Pick one. He's right. He's absolutely 100% correct. And that's, yeah. Those are the people that I listen to the most, if you're wondering. Hey, X-Wing. Good morning from the best coast. What's up, buddy? Hey, Fingloriously, 82-month resub. Fun fact, there were plans in the USAF to modify their version of an AAS to aid in the shuttle landing should its landing gear malfunction. Never ended up being used, though. An arresting system. Interesting. Why doesn't NASA do more deep space missions? I look at Voyager and that thing is still doing work. NASA should be sending something out to the edge of the solar system every year or two. Tech is so much better now than 40 years ago. Lord Gugu, that has a lot to do with power supplies. Believe it or not, power systems. You know why Voyager's been on for like 50 years straight? Actually, it's, what would it be, 47 years? You know why it's been on for 47 years? Because it's using an RTG. RTGs are made in the same factory that nuclear weapons are made in. Fun fact. The fact that we ran out of that stuff, right, because we stopped making nukes, made it really hard to make that tech cost effective. True story. In 2017 and 2018, there was an effort to restart it, and that's why you're starting to see that stuff happen again. Do you think reactor propulsion power will be utilized, or is it too risky? It's not too risky, Dons. It's not too risky at all. Everything in space is trying to kill you 100% of the time. What, are we going to draw the line at a power plant that's trying to kill you too? Oh no, that's where we draw the line. Oh, you might get irradiated from it. In space. Yo, mama, what's up, man? No, I think we should do that. Nice shirt. Did you know I have a shirt like this in real life? I don't know if you knew that. That's where we draw the line. That's where we draw the, oh, we can't have a nuclear, but no. Where we actually draw the line is not necessarily like having a reactor on orbit and stuff. It's the idea of sending nukes into space. The last time everyone tried to send something into space with a nuke attached to it, we almost killed everybody on this planet. That's the implication there. Is it a good implication? No. But you know good and well there's people out there, oh, nuclear power bad. Nuclear power bad. Wind and solar good. Nuclear power bad. It's like, yeah, okay. Napster bad, Metallica good. Right. Why would you not want to utilize the spicy rocks is beyond me. The media in Australia is very anti-nuclear. Yeah, I don't know why, Dons. I really don't know. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, you know, the presumption there is that we're not going to, oh, if we use nuclear power, then we can't use fossil fuels. I really don't think that fossil fuels are going away anytime soon. Not to mention the amount of fossil fuels that you'd need to actually make a nuclear reactor. Like, it sounds like a very defeatist argument, in my opinion. Careful. Yeah, I know. Dude, spicy rocks, man. Spicy rocks. See, there's flammable rocks, coal, and then there's spicy rocks. Flammable, spicy. Flammable, spicy. Yeah, I don't know, Dons. Hey, whatever. We're not gonna get into that in here right now. Let's go play Workers and make our own spicy rocks. Oh, how's that for a segue? That was pretty good. All right, you guys know the drill. I'm gonna jog the VOD over on the YouTube side. Give me like a couple minutes here to redo that, and we'll go to a title card for a second, and we'll start up Workers, and then we'll play some Kerbal this afternoon. Be right back 1 second. I hope you enjoyed the Rocket Talk and Starlink 11.6 coverage. Stand by for loss of signal on the YouTube side as expected.
Discovery, go and throttle up.